name is Naomi Morales. I'm from Faith Learning Center Asia, and the title of my piece is Jairus' Daughter from Luke chapter 8, 40 to 56. I am so glad to be alive. You just don't realize how wonderful it is to be alive until you have been dead. Now don't look at me that way. I'm not a ghost, but I have been dead. And you see, Jesus brought me back to life. I don't remember everything about that day, so my parents had to tell me some things. But it was a day I will actually never forget. It was about 2 years ago when I was 12. I do remember being very sick. I first had a very bad headache and a high fever. Then I got dizzy and weak. I hadn't been able to eat or drink for several days. I was then having frightening dreams and waking up to a terrible pain in my head. My mother was always wiping my forehead and looking like she must have a worse pain than I did. I would say, "What's wrong with me, Mommy?" Her voice said, "You'll be fine," but her eyes said something different. I asked, "Am I going to die?" Then she turned her head and covered her face. She did not want to see how worried she really was, but I could see that she was crying, so I began to cry too. I remember how with great effort she fought back the tears from pain to comforting again. "Don't worry," she said. "Daddy went to get the teacher, Jesus. He can do anything. He can cure any illness." Her face faded out of my view, and in its place, a horrible dream of evil, ugly creatures grabbing at me, giving me terrible pains. I was trying to fight them away, but they kept coming back. I didn't know what was real or what was a dream, but I could see that I didn't know what was real or what was a dream. But it seemed that there was a great battle going on, and I was in the middle of it. It went on for what seemed an endless time. I just wanted it to be over. I didn't care if the evil creatures took me or not. I only wanted to rest. Just at that moment, a light appeared in my dream. The evil creatures screamed and dissolved into black smoke. The light got closer and brighter, but it did not hurt my eyes. The evil creatures were pushed completely away. And in my mind, I began to see the most beautiful face I had ever seen in life. In my mind, I heard a voice of a mountain stream speaking. He told me not to be afraid, that he would take care of me. I cannot say how long it was that he kept on speaking. I loved to hear his voice, and he had said more than I could take in. He told me that I would live with him and never have any pain again. He also told me that I would return to my father and mother who loved me very much. In my mind, the voice of waters changed into... In my mind, the face of light changed into the face of an ordinary man. Yet he wasn't just ordinary. He was the kindest and gentlest man I had ever seen. The voice of waters changed into the voice of a human voice. Yet it was full of understanding and love. I cannot say how long it was that he kept on speaking. I loved to hear his voice, and it seemed that each word he said spoke a book full of meaning. He told me, "Little girl, get up." I knew that I must and that I could. I jumped out of bed like a grasshopper. I felt completely well. I wasn't weak or tired or sick at all. I felt like nothing had ever been wrong and like nothing would ever be wrong again. My father told me that this was Jesus and that I had been dead, but Jesus brought me back to life. Since that time, I have told many people about what happened to me. I thought that they would all be as happy as I and my parents are. Yet some of them seemed angry that Jesus had done this. Some didn't even believe it was true. But of course it is true, and it is wonderful. And I'm going to keep on telling about it to anybody who